What's up, people? We're back. Spicy Monday. Sorry I missed last week. And we're going to be talking more about the rules of tech support. This week, I'm combining a whole bunch of them because they're all related to the exact same idea. If you haven't set expectations and communicated clearly, you've already failed.
Spicy Monday, time to break it down. MSP talk, ripping off the road.
In the MSP world, perception is reality, especially because we are outsourced support. If the user thinks it's your fault, it is. If they think it should be free, you're arguing over emotion, not logic. If they think it's urgent, good luck convincing them otherwise without a pre-existing framework you've consistently executed. The work doesn't start when the ticket opens. It starts with boundaries, education, and having a shared definition of priority. All of that comes from triage, which is how we set our expectations. If you're explaining urgency while the fire is burning, you're already toast. So what exactly are this week's rules? We're going through rules 3 through 7, and I'll summarize them in my own words for brevity's sake. But as always, a link will be provided in the video description to the rules of tech support from our Tales from Tech Support. Rule 3 boils down to if the user broke it, you're still at fault. In Rule 3A, since it's your fault, they'd prefer to not be billed for it. You should have known about this. You should have known this was going to happen. What's wrong with you? Rule 4, if it doesn't work, that's on you. If it does work, you're just a witness to a miracle. We've all been there. When something is broken, what do you even do? When everything's working, what do you even do? That is a tale as old as time. Rule 5, if you show up in person, the issue will vanish on site. Rule 5A, or it'll be something insultingly simple like you have to plug it in. We've all seen the memes. I had to drive 3 hours just to turn on a server that 12 different people told me it was on. We've actually all been this end user. We've had a technical problem with something, maybe our car, and when we went to display it, the problem didn't happen the way it happens for us normally. It is one of the worst feelings as a user to be in because you feel like an idiot in front of an expert. Rule 6, every user is the most important user in the world. Rule 6A, they all demand white glove service. And Rule 6B, they don't want to pay for white glove service. And of course, Rule 7, which is one of my favorites because it ties back to my favorite rule of all time, Rule 1, is that it'll only take a minute. That's a lie. Always. All of these rules show the need to set expectations, especially when we're working on a help desk. Triage is, of course, going to be where we first are able to set these expectations, priority, and impact, and start training our users to answer the questions necessary for that to happen. But as we work through tickets, it's important for us to keep in mind that expectation management is an ongoing issue. And we are the circus wranglers of that expectation management at our MSPs. All of these rules 3 through 7, have to do with managing expectations. The idea that well, if it broke, you broke it. And since it's your fault, I prefer not to be billed is an example of a mismatch of expectations. The idea that if it doesn't work, it's on me, but if it does work, then you were just here witnessing a miracle is a failure of expectations management. The idea that if you show up and the issue vanishes, or it's something that's insultingly simple, is expectations management and also shitty triage. The idea that every user is the most important user in the world and they demand white glove service and don't want to pay for it is obvious, but also expectations management. And then the idea that the user is going to assess how long something takes, which is always wrong because they don't know how to fix it or they would have fixed it, is expectations management. And the reason why I keep harping on that is not all of these are going to be hard and fast rules that you have to agree or disagree with in the moment. Sometimes your users are going to estimate time and you're going to take their estimate. Sometimes you're going to reframe it to your estimate. Sometimes that user is incredibly important. Maybe they own your largest client. Other times they're a random employee that you could care less about, but they think they're important. All of these deal with this idea that part of our job on the help desk is to make sure that we are always in real time reframing exactly what is happening, what the user can expect, where they're sitting, and really when we can bring them to the outcome that they want. The more clearly we can do that, the less any of these rules is a problem for us at our help desk. And the less clearly we do that, the more these rules become a meme that we laugh about online about how crappy our users are that we need these rules of tech support. Stay spicy, my friends, and think critically that are you really navigating these unspoken expectations as well as you could be? If you're on the desk, my guess is probably not as good as you could. And if you're in management, when's the last time you got involved to see if there's an underlying process or framework or support structure to drive this expectation management where you're not forcing the people on the desk to be superheroes and do it on their own? I've met a lot of you. I would say you should go back and look at how you're handling expectations.